Well, the search for a missing 7-month-old baby will continue today in Lancaster County. Plus, the United States still appears to have plans to strike Syria, but there are questions about the timetable. I'm Heather Warner.
Neighbors in the capital city are working on ways to combat crime. Good morning, I'm Rebecca Solomon. We're live in Harrisburg to talk to you about this community effort.
Busy traffic into the Harrisburg area. Slow 581 eastbound, 83 northbound through the construction. Running heavy in Harrisburg. Busy also in York, and crews still working at Queen and Leaders Heights. Good morning. I'm Chris Garrett.
Hey, we're watching clouds off to our south, showers and storms off to our south as well. But for us today, we get in on some sunshine. We'll let you know if it lasts into the Labor Day weekend. Good morning. I'm Jeff Jumper, and Fox 43 Morning News at 8 o'clock starts right now.
And now, your local news in high definition. This is Fox 43 Morning News.
All right, it is 8 o'clock here on your Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us. And that's it.
Okay.
We'll see you
All right,
later.
so
Have a
good.
great
We only
Thursday.
report the time, and that's it.
Right.
That's all we have the time for.
So how are you shaping up for today?
Pretty good. We're going to get some sunshine out there. We have to deal with a little bit of fog this morning.
Right.
So it's making for a little bit of a rough commute for you in these morning hours. But we're getting rid of that. We'll get into some sunshine and rain chances today. Not zero, but they're pretty limited. So we're getting into a little bit of a reprieve, we're calling it, today, tomorrow, before we roll into the holiday weekend. We have some things to talk about.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Well, President Barack Obama says he's still deciding whether to launch a military strike against Syria. He plans on making that case to Congress a bit later today. Fox's Doug Luzader shows us why the timetable for a U.S. strike on Syria could be changing.
The White House is running into one delay after another here. Some have to do with politics. Others may be delaying tactics on the part of Syria. But we are hearing this morning from the UN Secretary General that those inspection teams will probably leave Syria on Saturday. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
In Pennsylvania, U.S. Senator Pat Toomey also asked the president to explain any action in Syria. In this statement, the Republican said it appears to be an established fact that Assad has used chemical weapons repeatedly in an indiscriminate slaughter of his own civilians. These weapons and his behavior pose a national security risk to the U.S. This calls for an American response, being mindful to avoid a long-term military engagement in the Syrian civil war. 24 National Guard soldiers, meanwhile, return home to Central PA, but many are thinking about Syria right now and what it could mean for their future. The soldiers with the 55th Army Brigade spent a year deployed in Kuwait. For many at Fort Indian Town Gap, the last thing, of course, they want to think about is having to head back overseas. These soldiers served on a peacekeeping mission. Now, although their service didn't place them in any danger this time, they say fighting on the front lines is what serving their country is about.
It is what it is. We have to take it in stride. You know, we know that we have people that are, assessing the situation and stuff, and we trust their decisions, and we just stand ready to, act.
They say the thought of redeploying is always on their minds, and despite the potential for that on the horizon, soldiers could not be any happier to be home. Leaders in Harrisburg are pushing safety in a training session for neighborhood watch groups. Those groups encourage neighbors to take an active role in public safety. Fox 43's Rebecca Solomon joins us now live from Harrisburg to talk a little bit more about these watch groups this morning. Hey, Rebecca.
Good morning, Heather. Police officers in Harrisburg are out on the streets combating crime, but they're also reaching out to you, the neighbors, and getting help in doing that. It's part of a neighborhood watch group, and there's a lot that goes on in this group in terms of reducing the overall crime on your street. So to talk to me a little bit more about these watch groups and how you can get involved is joining me from the police department, Brian Wade. Thanks for being with us, Brian. Thank you very much. This effort of safety and keeping our streets clean and for ways to get involved. There's actually a seminar on the safeguards tonight, 6 o'clock, the Harrisburg Hilton. Heather, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Rebecca. Well, the search for a missing 7-month-old baby will resume this morning. Crews plan to continue searching the Susquehanna River in Columbia, Lancaster County. Dive crews from the Chester Police Department are helping to look for baby Amza Ali. The search for that missing boy has gone on now for more than 3 weeks after Ahmad Rushdie took the baby from his mother in Upper Darby. Rushdie told police that he killed the baby and buried him somewhere in York or Lancaster counties, but he is not saying where. He also told police that they will not find the child. The Lancaster County man accused of sexually assaulting a 5-year-old girl pled guilty. Harold Herr appeared in Lancaster County Court yesterday morning and pled guilty on 11 different crimes, including kidnapping and sexual assault. A judge sentenced him to 50 to 100 years in jail.
The purpose of that sentence was to guarantee that he would never be released from prison to protect the citizens of Lancaster County and those of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. He was solemn, he did cry, and he did acknowledge that he was going to die in jail, and he understood that.
Assistant District Attorney Karen Mansfield says Herr asked the family of the 5-year-old girl for forgiveness. Police in Carlisle arrested a man for assaulting a 3-year-old girl. They say Robert Ware of Carlisle is charged with involuntary deviant sexual intercourse with a minor, indecent assault, and corruption of minors. When they went to arrest him, they learned that he was on a bus to Massachusetts, so when the bus made a stop in Philadelphia, they were there to arrest him. Ware is in Cumberland County Prison without bail. The appeal hearing for convicted child molester Jerry Sandusky will not be held at a high school in Luzerne County next month. It will be moved to the county courthouse in Wilkes-Barre. Officials with the state Superior Court say they changed that location because of media and public interest. Sandusky is asking the state Superior Court to overturn the verdict convicting him of sexually assaulting 10 boys while he worked as an assistant football coach at Penn State. Meanwhile, Jerry Sandusky is speaking out against Penn State and the settlements they've reached with his victims. In a letter to documentary filmmaker John Ziegler, Sandusky accuses Penn State of handing out payments to protect its image. He says that the school chose to, quote, throw out the money to anyone who called. Penn State has set aside $60 million for the victims of Sandusky's abuse. So far, 6 victims and Sandusky's adoptive son have finalized their settlements. A lot of people who begin to smoke at a young age, and that's precisely why some city council members in New York are proposing the idea of raising the legal age limit to buy cigarettes from 18 to 21. They think it'll prevent a lot of people from smoking, and we want to know what you think about it. It is our topic of the day. Is raising the legal age limit to 21 to buy cigarettes a good or bad idea? You can head to our Facebook pages to weigh in. And the Army's psychiatrist who killed more than a dozen soldiers at Fort Hood in 2009 now faces the death penalty. Why it could be unlikely the sentence, though, is carried out. And as we head to break here on your Thursday morning, we're taking a live look over York. It's a dreary and foggy start to your day. 70 degrees. We're going to be right back here after the break.
6:24 right now on WPMT Fox 43 Morning News. We are celebrating opening day here at Hershey Park this morning.
Yes, and I'm looking at you for the first time and seeing a little bit of sunlight on the top
and
of your
it feels
head.
so good on the skin.
Yes, it's been a chilly start to the day, but Jeff's going to tell you a little bit more about the forecast. It's going to be a beautiful day here for opening day.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to get a check on that in just a little bit. But first, it's amazing to think that the park has been here for more than 100 years, putting smiles on people's faces.
Yeah, you know, this all started with the whole idea of the entertainment here, with a way just to let the families of the chocolate factory really just have some fun. And that tradition has continued on ever since for 100 years now.
You know, happy employees do better for his company.
One man with a simple idea, turning a factory environment into the sweetest place on earth. Milton Hershey building a park for the surrounding town, striving to make the Hershey Chocolate Factory a place of joy for its employees.
When Milton Hershey started his factory in 1903 here in what was Dairy Church, Pennsylvania, there was nothing around. He built the town, he built the homes, he had the lumber company, the electric company, and he wanted to have something for his employees to do when they weren't working.
From the beginning, the park became the focal part of the town, and since, it continues to grow.
Each year he added different attractions, and some years he added small things, some years he added bigger things. Our Comet roller coaster was added in 1945.
Today, the park balances rides for thrill seekers along with family fun attractions.
We do something that we think the entire family is going to be able to enjoy, from grandparents all the way down to 2-year-olds.
And after more than 100 years, Hershey isn't done yet.
Still still think we have a lot of areas in the park that we can refresh and enhance and make it so it's enjoyable again. We want something that every member of the family can do in every area of the park.
Yeah, and the folks here at Hershey Park say, really the idea here is to create lasting memories for families who always visit. And every new ride that they bring on here, every time they do that, they always have family entertainment and the memories in mind. We are live from Hershey Park this morning, the sweetest place on earth. It is opening day here in, less than 4 hours now, 10 a.m. We will be right back after this, 6:27. Happy Friday to you.
The Candyman can. The Candyman can. The Candyman can, 'cause he mixes it with love and makes the world taste good.